welcome to the students of Dr. B.R. Ambedkar Open University who are pursuing BSc Drug Science program. As you know, BSc Drug Science program has two subjects, drug chemistry and drug technology. Each of these subjects have got 4 papers each. In the subject drug technology, there is an important paper called manufacture of bulk drugs. In this paper, the various chemical technology of manufacturing drugs is explained. For any drug to be manufactured, there are certain principles. So, one should follow those principles to ensure that that particular drug produced follows the guidelines from the Indian Pharmacopoeia, and all the quality control measures have to be studied. In the manufacture of bulk drugs, the chemical technology and manufacturing processes of various drugs that are commonly used are discussed. For example, the drugs which are used as antipyretics, those drugs which are used as antibacterial drugs, or drugs which are used as antibiotics, vitamins and other preparations, injections, all those things are discussed in this. Today's lesson is about manufacture of sulfamethoxazole. Sulfamethoxazole is a important sulfur drug which is used as a antibacterial drug. Sulfamethoxazole in combination of trimethoprim, the trade name is called Bactrium. So, that is widely used as an antibacterial drug for various disease conditions. Now, in this lesson you will learn about what are the different stages or different steps for the manufacture of sulfamethoxazole, which is an important antibacterial drug. For any drug, you will also learn about the various raw materials used in the manufacture and the preparation, various steps involved in the preparation, and later on I will show you a flow diagram where different reactors which are used in the manufacture of bulk drugs and what are the different stages that are come across in the manufacture of drugs. And you will also know about what is called the quality control aspects of the drug. As I told you, any drug have to conform to the guidelines given by the Indian Pharmacopoeia. Sulfamethoxazole, as I told you, is an important sulfa group of drugs, and the trade name is Bactrium, and this in combination of trimethoprim is used in the ratio of 5:1. So, that is a very useful drug being used by physicians to treat antibacterial diseases which are produced by bacteria, various bacteria like viruses, microorganisms, fungi, etc. The chemical name is 4-amino N5-methyl 3-isoxazole sulfonamide. That is the chemical name of the product sulfamethoxazole. The famous trade name, as I told you, is Bactrium. It is a combination of two drugs, sulfamethoxazole and trimethoprim, in the ratio of 5:1, and that is. Now, the manufacturing process, as I told you, there are so many raw materials which are used at different stages of preparation of sulfamethoxazole. So, there are 3 primary stages where you have the raw material, and there are some accessories like sodium hydroxide, benzene, alcohol, acetic acid, sulfonyl chloride. These are all various drugs used, various raw material used at different stages of the manufacture of sulfamethoxazole. In the first step is, as I told you, the drug is manufactured in 3 main steps. and those 3 main steps I will explain to you showing the flow diagram, then you will have a better understanding of the manufacturing process. In stage 1 or step 1, preparation of 3 amino 5 methyl isoxazole. I repeat, preparation of 3 amino 5 methyl isoxazole. For this preparation in reactor 1, later on you will see in the flow diagram, 170 grams of ethyl 5 methyl isoxazole 3 carbonate, 170 grams of this substance is taken in the reactor and it is heated in a boiling water bath, and 500 ml of 10% aqueous sodium hydroxide solution is added, and this is heated in a boiling water bath for about 8 hours. So, in the reactor 1 the process takes 8 hours, and during the 8 hours lot of chemical reactions takes place and the reaction mixture is extracted several times with either ether or benzene, and where ether or benzene is added you will see in the flow diagram, and then the solvent is removed under vacuum to get crude residue of this mixture, which is used for or heated for 8 hours, and it is dried and recrystallized from benzene to get pure 3 amino 5 methyl isoxazole with a melting point of 62 degrees centigrade. So, the first step in the manufacture of sulfur methoxazole is preparation of 3 amino 5 methyl isoxazole in reactor number 1. After step 1, we will now consider what is done in step 2. Step 2 is preparation of 3 acetyl sulfanilamide 5 methyl isoxazole. I will repeat, preparation of 3 acetyl sulfanilamide 5 methyl isoxazole. In this case 90 grams of 3 amino 5 methyl isoxazole is taken in reactor and 500 ml of pyridine is allowed to react with 200 grams of acetyl sulfanyl chloride. I repeat, 90 grams of 3 amino 5 methyl isoxazole is taken in the reactor and 500 ml of pyridine is added, and then it is allowed to react with 200 grams of acetyl sulfanyl chloride in the second step. This process takes nearly an hour. In the first it takes 8 hours, in the second stage it takes 1 hour. So, after 1 hour water will be added to the reaction mixture and the crude compound is precipitated. Then it will be recrystallized after transferring to the other chamber that I will show you in the flow diagram, and then it will be recrystallized from alcohol to get 250 grams of pure acetyl sulfanilamide 5 methyl isoxazole with a melting point of 22 degrees centigrade. So, that is the second step. The first step is preparation and the second step is preparation of 3 acetyl sulfanilamide 5 methyl isoxazole. The third step is preparation of sulfanilamide 5 methyl isoxazole. For this step 3, for the preparation of 3 sulfanilamide 5 methyl isoxazole, 200 grams of 3 acetyl sulfanilamide 5 methyl isoxazole is taken, heated with 1000 ml of sodium hydroxide, aqueous solution of sodium hydroxide in a water bath, and it is treated for nearly 1 hour. 200 grams of 3 acetyl sulfanilamide 5 methyl isoxazole is heated with 1000 ml of aqueous sodium hydroxide solution and a water bath for nearly 1 hour. So, this mixture is allowed to cool. So, there is a cooling project, there is a chamber where it is cooled and is acidified by addition of acetic acid to get the precipitation of the final or the title compound, the sulfur methoxazole. So, the crude product that is obtained in the step 3 is separated by filtration, because the crude extract cannot be used directly. So, it should be separated by a process of filtration. So, there is a chamber for filtration, and then it is after filtration it is again recrystallized from dilute alcohol to get 150 grams of colorless prisms of sulfamethoxazole with a melting point of 167 degrees centigrade. So, this is the final step where you get fine colorless prisms of sulfamethoxazole with melting point of 167 degrees centigrade. And the preparation needs lot of quality control measures, because in the manufacture of drugs lot of organic compounds are used, or some of them they get interfere with the product. So, quality control methods should be followed to conform with the prescribed rules and regulations of the Indian pharmacopoeia. So, then there are different steps for quality control: the description, solubility, storage, identification, and various limit tests that have to be carried out for finding out the ultimate quality of the drug. Appearance, the description: white or almost white color, crystalline powder, that is the shape of the sulfamethoxazole. And then solubility, it is freely soluble in acetone, strongly soluble in ethanol, and practically insoluble in water, that is the solubility criteria. And then storage, to be stored in well closed light resistant containers. May I repeat, it should be stored in well closed light resistant containers, otherwise the drug gets spoiled. Then how do you identify the ultimate product is a genuine product? So, the infrared absorption spectrum, that is the quality control method used, is the infrared absorption spectrum obtained should be along with the reference spectrum of sulfamethoxazole, the standard sulfamethoxazole, and then you have to carry out what are called some limit tests. Now, we have considered the 3 steps for the manufacture of sulfamethoxazole. Now, you will see the flow diagram or flow chart or the apparatus used for the preparation of sulfamethoxazole. As you can see, this is reactor 1. In reactor 1, 170 grams of ethyl 5-methyl isoxazole 3 carbonate is taken, and 500 ml of aqueous sodium hydroxide is added, and it is heated. As you have seen the first step, it is heated for nearly 8 hours in this, and from there it is transferred to number 2, the reactor number 2. The reactor number 2, as you can see from the top, either ethanol or benzene is added. So, the second reactor is called extractor. So, this reactor is extracting reactor, the mixture from the reactor 1 is transferred to the extractor, that is the reactor number 2, and then it is extracted with either ether or benzene that is added from the top of the reactor. So, then this extraction takes place, and after completing the extraction it is transferred to the third part of the apparatus, that is what is called for drying apparatus. So, this product from reactor number 2 is to be transferred to the third chamber where it is dried. The crude residue from reactor number 2 is dried, transferred to the tray dryer, and there, as you can see, there are 2 drying chambers. So, that will dry the product which is manufactured from number 2, and then it is transferred to the fourth apparatus, that is what is called crystallization apparatus. In the fourth step, after drying from the third, reactor number 3, as you can see in this, it is recrystallized to form good compound to get pure 3 amino 5 methyl isoxazole, and this process takes nearly 1 hour, and then it is transferred to reactor 5. As you can see, after recrystallization it is transferred to reactor number 5. In this reactor, pyridine is added, as you have seen in step number 2 in the procedure we have discussed. Pyridine is added, acetone is added, and sulfonyl chloride is added for the reaction mixture. Again this reaction also they take nearly 1 hour in reactor number 5. So, after the reaction takes place with pyridine and acetone and sulfonyl chloride, this compound which is formed in reactor number 5 is again recrystallized after transferring to reactor number 6. As you can see, that is 6. So, there this compound is recrystallized from alcohol to get 3 acetyl sulfonyl amido 5 methyl isoxazole. In this chamber 6, this compound is recrystallized from alcohol to get 3 acetyl sulfonyl amido 5 methyl isoxazole. From there, after recrystallization, this is transferred to that another part called reactor number 7. So, this is transferred into another reactor heated with aqueous solution of sodium hydroxide for nearly 1 hour on a water bath. You can see there is a water bath here, and this mixture is added here, and by the water bath it is heated for 1 hour for the mixture, for the chemical reaction to take place. And then after treating with aqueous sodium hydroxide for 1 hour, this compound is transferred again to another water recrystallization chamber, compound transferred into another reactor where acetic acid is added to get precipitate, and this precipitate is to be filtered, and then the number 8 is the filter chamber where this product is filtered to get fine particles, and then you have what is called plate and frame press to get it in a good prismatic shape, and then this compound is transferred into this reactor treated with acetic acid, and to get a fine product it is filtered and washed, and product is recrystallized. As you can see, the number 10 is the recrystallizer process. Again from this chamber, after filtration and after this process, it goes to the final number 10, and there it is recrystallized from alcohol to get pure sulfamethoxazole and stored in storage tanks. So, this is how the flow diagram explains you the 3 different steps which are used for the manufacture of sulfamethoxazole. After preparing these, as I told you, you have to conduct some limit tests for quality control. The limit tests are usually they are done for heavy metals, then sulfated ash, test for iron, and some other related substances. And limit test for heavy metals is done using lead as a standard solution. You prepare a standard solution, a test solution to a 500 ml Nessler cylinder, you pipette out 1 ml of lead standard solution, and then dilute with water to 25 ml, adjust with dilute acetic acid or dilute ammonia solution to a pH between 3 and 4, dilute with water to about 35 ml and mix. That is preparation of the standard lead solution. Then you have to prepare standard test solution of sulfamethoxazole. 1 gram of sulfamethoxazole is taken in a suitable crucible, and sufficient sulfuric acid is added to wet the sample. Ignite carefully at a low temperature until thoroughly charred, and to this charred substance you have to add other reagents, and then to each of these two, the test as well as standard, the Nessler cylinders containing the standard and the test solution, add 10 ml of freshly prepared hydrogen sulfide solution, mix, dilute to 50 ml with water, allow to stand for 5 minutes and view downward over a white surface. The color produced with the test solution is not more than the produced with the standard solution. So, that is the test for heavy metals. Then you have another test for related substances by a chromatograph method, and again you have to test another thing called sulfated ash, and then there is another test for loss and drying, and another test for test for iron. So, all these tests are conducted for maintaining the quality control of the sulfamethoxazole, and once the sulfamethoxazole is prepared and conforms, and the limit test and all these heavy metals and other things, they are what are called permissible limits as per the Indian pharmacopoeia. So, all these limit tests have to be carried out to see that the drug contains these possible the contaminants or possible substances which get into this drug manufacture, they are in the permissible limits. So, that the limit tests are carried out to find out the quality control of the ultimate product of the product of sulfamethoxazole. And then lastly, we should know about the medical use of sulfamethoxazole. As I told you, Bactrium is a trade name of sulfamethoxazole combination. It contains sulfamethoxazole and trimethoprimine in 5:1 ratio, is used as an antibacterial drug in case of many diseases, and the initial dose of this sulfamethoxazole compound is 2 gram tablets of Bactrium tablets 2 or 3 times a day, followed by 1 gram tablet 2 to 3 times a day. That is usual procedure, but in some cases the physician may prescribe a different dose. So, the dose should be taken from the prescription of a doctor. Usually, as I told you, 2 gram tablets of Bactrium are used for 2 to 3 days. Friends, we have already seen the various steps of the manufacture of sulfamethoxazole. As you have seen, there are 3 primary steps, and ultimately in the third step you will get the final product of sulfamethoxazole, and then you conduct the product for various limit tests to see the quality control is maintained, and later on ultimately the drug should be used, and before it is marketed the drug should conform to the quality control standards prescribed by the Indian pharmacopoeia. I hope you have now learnt about the manufacture of sulfamethoxazole, which is an important sulfur drug.